right, so here are some of our fourth graders at Pinewood Elementary. And in case you're wondering why they look so green, today happens to be Spirit Day of Green Day. So look at the school spirit that these kids have. We just wanted to have a little discussion a little bit about the GT program that they participate in and what it means. So first of all, can you guys tell me what does it mean to be GT?
For me, it means that you think different than everybody else.
I think it means, like Caitlin said, you think differently and you like to be challenged more.
For me, it means that the things we do are a little harder, and if we weren't challenged, school would not be fun.
I think what it means is that we all think differently than the kids in the other classes. That doesn't make us smarter, we all think differently, and all of us happen to think in the way that gets us into the GT program.
Like Maddie said, it's not that we're better or more smart than other kids. It's just that we think differently.
All right. So how does the GT program at Pinewood, if you were to walk through the school, does it look any differently than the other classrooms?
No, not really, but if you would, the classrooms and what they do don't look completely different, but when you look closely, you can see the differences.
If a parent were to spend one day in a GT classroom and one day in a regular classroom, they might be able to tell it by looking at like how they are acting.
Okay. Can you elaborate, like what are some of the things that you guys do differently that might not happen in one of the other rooms?
We have our own, our math books, they are, like for fourth grade, our math books are fifth grade math books.
We have something called Word Masters, and we have a test that other fourth graders don't have that test.
And like Annika said, we have Word Masters and we also have Math Olympiad, and that's a challenging math test for us.
Okay.
And about Math Olympiad, it is a timed test, so you don't get as much time to think. And I feel like in the GT class, I feel like we get maybe a little bit more homework than other classes because we do more work at some time because sometimes our teacher thinks that we understand it.
Like Caitlin, we get more homework, I think, but we get time to work on it. So I would say like the homework we spend at home is like an average fourth grader. In the GT class, I feel that our class has more privileges.
Okay, such as?
Such as Math Olympiad, Word Masters, and things like that.
Okay.
One big difference that I noticed is our class is a lot more closer. Like, the boys aren't scared to talk to girls, and if like a kid from a different class were to spend one day in our class, they would notice how close we are, because since third grade we have been together.
Okay. Now, speaking of you guys all being together so much, do any of you guys, how do you relate to the other fourth grade classrooms that are here at Pinewood? Do you have friends in other classrooms?
Yeah, I have friends in other classrooms. I have one friend, we hung out a lot when we were in the same class together. and now I feel like I'm closer to the friends in this classroom. And she sometimes refers, like, I feel like you get kind of treated a little bit special because, oh, you're GT.
Okay.
I also have. Oh. I also have friends in a different classroom, different classrooms, and we still see each other. It's not like we never see each other again. We see each other at recess and lunch, and we talk. We talk like normal friends would, but like Caitlin said, I feel like I'm closer to the people, the kids in here, than I am to my friends outside of this.
And that's kind of natural. The people that you spend the most time with, you get to know them better, and you kind of get their same personality. So we're all one big family here. And the kids in other classes do kind of feel maybe a little bit more intimidated now than they did a couple years ago. But other than that, our friendships are still the same, and I'm not sure that any of that could change, whatever happened.
Okay.
Like Katie said, I have a bunch of friends in other classes, but my friendships don't change. We see each other at lunch and recess, and it's not like, oh, you're not smart as me, I can't be your friend.
Right. And you guys had mentioned at the beginning that it's not about being smarter, it's more about just thinking differently, correct? Okay.
When we left the GT class, we were leaving a few friends behind, but we made closer friends when we got into GT.
Okay.
When in the GT class, I have had to learn with other friends in different classes, you cannot be arrogant about GT, and you need to just not talk about it and don't boast.
Okay. So tell me about a typical day in your classroom.
So in our classroom, we start out with some work that we just do in the morning, and it could be from our math notebook, it could be social studies, and then we go, and then we start math.
Okay.
And after the break for lunch, recess, and our daily specialist, we usually do our literacy work, literacy or reading, and then we kind of start going into the science area. And sometimes we do experiments, sometimes we read from the book, sometimes we just talk about what we learned the other day.
All right.
Usually in the morning, maybe some people won't think of it as the way I do, but I think we have like this thing, it's sort of like a warm-up for like sort of the most important thing of the day. Like we read from our social studies notebook, if that's going to be a big part of the day, or we like do math problems, if that's going to be the biggest part of the day. So that's just what I think.
All right. Well, you guys tell me that you're really close and that you all like working together. Do you guys, how does that work during your study time? Do you encourage each other? Do you feel like you challenge each other? Or do you think it's just more of a social thing?
Our teacher, Mrs. Golan Bieski, she really encourages us to help everybody like win at what they're doing. Like if they have trouble, not just to leave them behind and make them figure it out, to try and help them through it, not just give them the answer, because that doesn't help them learn how to do it.
Okay. Does it help you when you have to help them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes teaching somebody else is a higher skill, isn't it? Yep.
Mrs. Golubieski, she sort of just sometimes lets us do whatever helps us learn. So if you learn better alone, she just sort of lets you do your stuff alone. But if we work together nicely, then you can work as a partner.
Okay.
It sometimes sometimes gets loud in our classroom, but that's during group work. Otherwise, it's really quiet. But during group work, it's not just taking your partner and going to a spot around the room and just rushing through the problems. It's always, if one person doesn't understand completely, then the other person will always say, okay, so what don't you understand about this? And I'll see if I can help you.
Like what Annika said, I like how Mrs. Golombiaski sometimes gives us a choice if we want to be with a partner or we want to work alone. Like it isn't always like for math. It's also for like social studies. Sometimes for presentations, and I really like that option because for some topics, like for some things we do in the classroom, I like to be alone, but for other things that we do in the classroom, I like to work with a partner.
And kind of what Annika and Katie said, what I think the most about is that if Mrs. Golombiewski says that we should work in partner groups, that we need to work in partner groups, it's for the benefit of other people, and it's not just for the benefit of other people, it also benefits you. Because when you are teaching other people, you might come across another way to do the problem. You might come across better ways to explain things to other people.
One thing that we missed in the schedule is morning meeting. That tends to happen when it's not too eventful of a day. Like if we had track and field and a program at the same time, then we probably wouldn't have a morning meeting.
Okay. Is there anything else that we should know about GT?
I feel that if I was not in the class that I am now, like if I was in Mr. Johnson's class instead, it's not that it's Mr. Johnson's fault, but I don't feel like I would be challenged enough and I wouldn't be learning new things. So I would just know it all.
Okay. What makes you feel that way? I mean, is not that you. How do I explain this? Do you think that as a whole group in a different class that the teacher would have to spend more time going over things? Or
It's just that I feel that I wouldn't get to learn as much because it's not that Mr. Johnson would take a ton of time explaining things. It's just that I wouldn't be able to challenge myself, and I wouldn't be able to learn more.
Okay.
And the teacher would have to explain it to the people who don't understand it as much. But I also feel that it would be kind of fun to be in another classroom for 1 or 2 days just to know how it feels to be in a different 4th grade classroom.
Okay.
I think we all really enjoy being in this classroom because we all really know each other, and it's such a blessing to talk to each other comfortably and know each other, and it's also, I really like how we're all challenged, and this it's just such a blessing to be in GT.
I feel that now that I'm used to staying in one classroom, that staying with one group of people, I feel that if each year I was moved to a different set of people in my class, I would be at a loss because I would have to keep getting new friends. I would have to keep learning new people, getting to know new people. And me, for one, I'm not very good at being at making friends right away in the.
Okay. Does anybody else want to say anything, or go ahead, Gwen?
Like Caitlin, if I were in Mr. Johnson's class, this is an exact.
And we're referring to Mr. Johnson because he's right next door,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
would be friendless like Caitlin. I'm not very good at making friends. I'm not the person who's going to come up and tell a new person hello. All my friends before third grade were in GT, and one of the only reasons I took the test is to be with my friends, but now I've realized that GT has helped me and I enjoy the challenge.
Okay.
I feel like, Brady, you can go.
Good. Guys?
I feel like they all said, I feel like the friends we have made in the GT class we are in now, the friendships we've made are really strong, and if we were moved to a different class, it would be kind of hard to break those friendships.
Okay. I'm kind of curious to know, did any of you had ever, when you were in a regular classroom, when you were younger, get into trouble because you would get bored or distracted or anything like
In kindergarten, I did get in trouble because I was done with the work that we were doing, like writing or something like that, and we had just finished our GT session because some people would be pulled out of the class and we would come up to Mrs. Marsh's room, and we'd be there for a bit and then we'd go back to our classroom. I had finished my work and I was just sitting there, playing with my pencil, and I got in trouble because I wasn't doing my math and whatever I was supposed to be doing.
Okay.
Because I was done with it.
I think in second grade it was, we were using the Chromebooks, and I had finished the assignment we had to do, so I got bored, and then I just started writing a story, and after that I got in trouble because I hadn't asked the teacher
Okay. Do those things kind of still happen?
sometimes.
Yeah, and now you've written 3 stories.
What would happen is I would finish my work and then I would get in trouble because I would start talking to someone.
Okay.
And now that doesn't really happen because I'm busy on my work because the work is harder, so it doesn't take me
Okay.
2 seconds.
I don't want to leave anybody out. Was there anybody else that wanted to speak? Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead, Annika.
All right. This isn't exactly getting in trouble. It's sort of the opposite. But, so, I don't know. In kindergarten, I just feel like, that in kindergarten, so here's just the story. Everybody was talking, and my teacher was out of the room. And so I decided, everybody stop talking and get in a line. And everybody did it, and I'm now in GT, I'm with friends who are so awesome, and we're all leaders, and I just think that's great.
Okay.
When I was in first grade, don't ever do this, but I was bored, and I was smelling this, I think you were there. I was smelling this marker, and I accidentally got a little bit on my nose.
Okay.
And then I started dotting other markers on my nose,
So you had
and
a.
I got in trouble.
All right. That would happen to a lot of first graders, wouldn't it? All right. Okay. Did you want?
So, I never really got in trouble that much, but what didn't really help me when I was supposed to answer a question and the teacher called on me, I zoned out. I knew all the answers, and so my mind started to wander away, and all of a sudden I was sitting there staring into space. The teacher called on me, and I said, "Please repeat that."
Okay.
Like Maddie said, whenever, in second grade, we were doing,
math or something, and we had our notebooks out, and I was writing down the answers as the teacher was talking, and and he said, Caitlin, so we got blank for an answer. Could you please say how we got that? And I'm like, wait, what did you just say?
Okay, so you also zoned out. Alrighty, well, I want to thank you guys for telling us a little bit more about how each of your day goes and how you feel about things. It sounds like you guys have a really good bond and you're having a really good experience. Oh, you know what I didn't add? Were there any negatives that you guys wanted to talk about? Things that I think one you talked about maybe some of the friendships might have gone away, which you also feel would have happened regardless if you were in GT or not, if you were in different classrooms with people. Okay? Is there any other things that you feel like it hasn't been a good thing?
One thing, this doesn't happen very often, but from friends with other classrooms, sometimes they will refer to you as a GT kid as a good thing, but other times, like every once in a while, if you're talking like about something in school or something like that, they call you, oh, okay, GT kid. Or something
Okay, so
like that.
then sometimes it's a negative label. Okay?
Well, like sometimes, like Caitlin said, kids like refer to you as GT, and sometimes it doesn't feel so good, because like they're sort of separating you from them,
Okay.
like different groups.
While we were talking about the friendships that we made and the bonds that we made in this class, I feel like it'll kind of be bad when we get into middle school because we'll have different classes and some people might not be in the same school as us, and it just will be different because we're so used to being in one big class and we all know each other.
Okay.
This is kind of a negative because we have such a full classroom. We have 29 students. There's no room for other students, and there are so many kids who are so close to being in GT, but they can't be in GT because of numbers thing. And then this is not really about negative, but I find it cool that next year we're going to be doing 6th grade math.
That's right. All right. All right. Thank you. Signing off with the GT kids.